pause my video for Jerry's field service question. All right, bless.
Thank you.
All right, so
716.
what town do you live in? Okay, I live in Coram. Great. Okay. Now again, if they're a PR, now another question that you have to ask them is how'd you find out about the job? Because if they're a PR and they live in Islip, they can still come to us. Doesn't matter where they live if they're a PR. Okay. So what town do you live in? Oh, I live in Coram. Now if they say, oh, I live in Bayshore. Oh, okay, cool. How'd you find out about the job? Oh, my friend works there. Oh, okay, great. Then you can work with us. If you're like, oh, I saw a flyer. All right, well, now at that point, we want to get off the phone with them in less than 30 seconds, all right? So it's like, oh, I'm from Islip, all right? So it's like,
just give me a call back.
all right, so, JT, actually there's an office that's a lot closer to you that covers that territory. Let me give you their phone number. It's right on the wall. Here's their number. Write this, do you have pen and paper? Write this down. Awesome. Give them a call. They can definitely help you out with everything. Can you just tell me a little bit about the job? I would love to, but it's really busy right now. And there's a lot of people calling, and so they can go over everything. And, even if I went through everything with you, I couldn't help you anyway. So give them a call. They'll definitely help you out. Bye. And you can hang up. Okay. Don't answer a bunch of questions because it's just a waste of time, and we're not going to be at our office anyway. All right. So, so are you currently a student or a recent graduate? Okay. If they say no, and they sound not qualified. Okay, that's what I wrote. Okay, so what does sound not qualified? So are you currently a student or a recent graduate? Honey, I haven't been to college since 1944. Okay, that's like, all right, awesome. Well, so that would be a not qualified. Or if it's like, are you a college student or recent graduate? Joe. Okay, so are you qualified? Are you a college student? Job. Okay, great. You're not qualified. All right, like doesn't speak English at all. All right, so something along those lines. All right, so so if they're not qualified, you just send them to the website. Send them to Vector Marketing. Apply online. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that. Okay. Again, these are people not qualified. I don't care. If they're like, oh, it's a scam. You're like, great, wonderful. You're right. Bye. All right. Okay. So don't waste time with people who are not even going to bother recruiting. All right. So now, are you at least 17 years of age? All right. That's another thing. Again, we don't want to waste like that. Doesn't even come up on this until like the third page. So we could have just wasted an entire call with this person. All right. So so you're at least 17 years of age. If they say no, in order to work with us, you have to be 17 years older. You can check out our website, vectormarketing.com, apply when you turn 17. Great. All right. Now, one last thing, just in case we get disconnected, can I get your phone number? All right. Then you get their phone number, and you put it in here. Okay. All right. And, I got to actually do it in order to...
It's a terrible number.
Whatever. Okay. Great. So it was close to my finger. Tough. All right, so that's the end of the first page. All right, we'll get rid of the number for you so you don't feel bad. Oh, error. Oh, type of phone. So we'll call the devil directly to his cell phone. All right, so cool. All right, so now you see this part here. This is the most important part of the phone approach. Okay, the job description. Okay, you have to go slow when you're doing the job description. The slower it takes you to say something to people, the more it sounds like you're saying. Okay, so that's how it goes. So, like for example, and this is something. And by the way, you're going to have to train receptionists. Receptionists are, we went through the stats the other time when we talked the other day. Receptionists are affecting the most number of people, and receptionists, by the way, in particular, like I'm going to have to sit down with Andrea and listen to her approach and see what she's saying, especially the longer receptionist's been with you, because then they know, like receptionists, after they've read this for like a month, they can just do this without even reading anymore, and so they just tend to go, and the person on the phone, they don't say, could you slow down? They just go, okay, and they hang up the phone, like I'm not going there. Okay, like that's basically what happens. All right, we'll show me for now. All right, so this is weird looking at that. Cool. So go slow. So all right, JT. The position that, by the way, another tip is say the person's name a lot. Saying people's names builds rapport with them. Okay, so that's just easy tip. Say the person's name that you're talking on the phone a lot. So that's why this blank's all over the place. But all right, JT, the position they have available right now is working in the customer sales and service department. The company makes a line of food prep items, high quality cookware, and some outdoor and gardening tools. The representatives work by preset appointments with their clients, explaining and demonstrating the kitchen product lines. So there is no telemarketing or door-to-door. Sometimes it says door-to-door, doesn't say there. So there's no telemarketing involved with the positions. Also, since representatives work by appointment, the work schedules can be made flexible around other commitments. Most of our reps work weekend shifts currently, but other hours are available. The starting pay rate is $14.25. That is a flat rate, not based on sales or commissions. Does this sound like something you'd be interested in? I say yes. Okay. So what I do is when you say that part, every period I almost count to 2 in my head. Okay, if you didn't notice, that's what I was doing. So right now it's working in the customer sales and service department. 1, 2. The company makes a line of, okay, like that's what I do. You got to go, and I cause myself to slow down that way. And when I see a comma, I count to 1. All right, so it's pre-set appointment working with our clients, explaining and demonstrating our kitchen products. All right, so that's this. So that part, the job description, makes them feel like they got information. All right, and we did give them information. But if you go through that fast, like they just go and then they go, what is this job again? All right, so that's that. All right. So that's something you sound interested in, they say yes. All right. Now, how did you hear about the job? So that's in bold, so that's going to go in here. All right, so I heard about the job. Why hasn't this changed yet? I changed that. Pay should be $14.25. I could have swore I changed it. Better be changed later. All right. Okay, so
Yeah, it's $14.25 in the flyers that you gave me.
I know, and that's what I'm seeing here. It says $14.50, and I could have swore I changed it, and that's going to piss me off, so I got to check it right now. Whatever it says. Doesn't say what I told it to say. No. It's very hard using this mouse like this. $14.25. What the F? I know nothing was changed because it was right already. Okay. You better say it on the regular approach. Hold on a second.
Better.
That's for you.
Yes. Feel better now. And that's gonna be. See, that's why it was 14. That was why 1650 because you made it to the devil. The devil does not want to work for less than 1650.
That's your zip code, right?
Yeah.
So,
There it is. That's right.
Okay, so just the hopes that it's messed up. Okay, so cool. So how do you hear about the job? You find out. Now, a lot of times they'll say you have to go by what it really is, not what they say it is. You have to dig sometimes. Like, so sometimes you say, how'd you hear about the job? They say, oh, I saw it online. Okay. Oh, so did you go to a website? What website was it? Workforstudents.com. Okay. No. Okay. Like they didn't go onto the website and go, let me put in website workforstudents.com. Like that's not what they saw. So you say, okay, so how did you find out about workforstudents.com? Oh, I saw a poster at my school. Gotcha. Okay, like that's how they got the web. So you just got to dig because we want to make sure because this tells us what advertising is working. Okay, so we need to know that information. So it's really important to get that information. So you got to dig. Sometimes they'll say, I saw a flyer. Okay, where did you see the flyer? It was on the wall at my school. That's called a poster. Okay, like now you don't have to correct them. Okay, we just need to know. All right, somebody handed me a poster. No, that's a flyer. Okay, so I saw a poster on my way to the mall. No, that's called a sign. Okay, on the side of the street. All right, but people say all kinds of weird stuff. All right, so you have to. They don't know our vernacular. That's all. So just make sure you find out exactly what it is that they actually saw and how they actually found out about it. What is going on? Okay. Okay, so that's a new call. All right, so let's keep going. So how did you hear about us? Put in some stuff there, please. All right, so I'm done with that now. All right, great. Do you have any experience working with people? So this is where you build a little bit of rapport with them. Do you have any experience working with people in the past? Yeah, I used to work with, I worked at Wallbounds. Okay, cool. Tell me about that. That's a great interviewing question in general. All right, so it just makes them talk more, and they can't give you one-word answers. All right, so just anytime somebody gives you a one-word answer, I just go, all right, tell me about that. Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate? Okay, and I just make them talk more. All right, so cool. Finish that.
Yeah.
So do you have any experience working with people in the past? They say whatever they say. You say, great. Did you enjoy it? What did you think about it? They go, oh, it was awesome, blah, blah, but I just didn't like it. After a while, I was Burger King. What am I going to do? All right, great. Well, any experience you have working with people is helpful. However, there is no experience required for the position because they do provide training for all new hires. Okay? Now, if they're a student, where did you go to school? What year are you in? How do you like it there? Okay, and they tell you some stuff, and you say, okay, the only reason I asked that is because we do have a scholarship program for students. You good yet? Caught up to this? Okay. Okay. So, good. So this is a Craigslist person. They're 18 years older, or 17, high school graduate, doesn't matter. Okay, so, cool. So now if they're a student, all this stuff pops up down here. Again, we're not reading any of this stuff off of the website. We're just got to enter it onto the website. All right, but all these questions are right there. So that's why they're bold. So school, student, yes. I go to college. This is the live site? No, okay. So go to college. You put the college name. I'm a sophomore or freshman, whatever they are. And blah, 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 build some rapport. What's your major? I'm majoring in dog farts, whatever. All right, and good. All right, so great. So you just enter that information. Don't read anything here. Okay, so cool. If they're not a student, you just continue on. All right, so Johnny, you sound fine to me. What I'm going to do is set you up for a time where you can come out and fill an application and meet with the manager so you can go over all the details of the position and get to know you a little bit better. The only problem is there's so many people applying. By the way, I don't care if you take one call for the week. There are so many people applying. Okay, people want to do what other people are doing. So great. So there's so many people applying. We don't have a lot of interview times available. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find something for you. All right. This is a place where sometimes receptionists, again, this is what I'm going to go through Andrea, and I know it, but I got to teach it to you guys. Like, these are the things that you check with your receptionist, okay? So sometimes they give them the times too quickly, okay? So it's like, hold on, let me see if we can find something. So you can put them on hold. We used to have a flip page when I was a manager my first time around. We used to have a page that just said flip, and you would just go into the phone. And they visualize you flipping a big pick, right? And then you go, oh, I got, no. Oh, okay, you're in luck. I got a spot here tomorrow at 6. Look, yes. All right. So again, you have to create urgency. People only do things when it's urgent. Okay. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can find something. You know what? You're in luck, Johnny. I have one more opening tonight at 7 o'clock. How's that sound? Now, how's that sound is a statement, not a question. Okay? It's not a, how's that sound? Can you do it? Okay? No, it's a, how's that sound? Like, Mr. Again, the homemaker, how's that sound? All right? So whenever your voice goes up, you are asking a question. When your voice is the same or goes down, you are making a statement. Okay? So if I go, your shirt is red, or if I say, your shirt is red? Okay, one's a question, one's a statement. Okay, so point is, you always want to make statements to people. It's not a question. It's a statement. Okay, so and that's something that you got to also watch receptionists. Sometimes they sing song their voice when they do stuff. It's like, as you can imagine, we've had a lot of people calling about the position, and I got to ask you a couple questions, see if you're qualified. And they're like, do you? Okay, like, are you asking me questions or are these statements? Okay, so you got to make sure they're not sing-songing their voice like that. All right. So anyway, so how's that sound? Now, the most important part of this approach is if they say yes right away, then you skip, like where the dotted line is, you skip all the dotted line all the way to here, and you just go, great. Okay, let me get an email confirmation from you. All right, so you would go here, get interviews. All right, you find you click that interviews. You don't read any of this stuff. Just, oh, come on. You just scroll down to where the interviews are. I have all the interviews in there. By the way, if you notice there aren't a lot of interviews, please tell me, or you guys, I'll teach you how to enter your own interviews. The interviews are the same every single week all the time. All right, we can only enter a certain amount. Yeah, so you just enter into more interviews. All right, you guys are able to do that. Receptionists don't, but the receptionist, you have to teach your receptionist not to schedule people. Like Andrea's pretty good. She all the calls she took today, she's scheduled for today or tomorrow. So today, you want people in for the same day. All right, so you get their email, you put that in there. If they don't have an email, but they should have an email. All right, so great. So you put that there. All right, it's important we get emails because we want their emails in the system for a number of reasons. The main one being not for the confirmation, but so we have it in the system so I don't have to type it in later when they get their contracts. That way, when they get the emails about their sample kit, if they have to return their sample kit and stuff, their email's there. So you want to have an email. Cool. Okay, so all right, so let me finish the approach and then I'll go back to this. All right, so if they say yes right away, good. So just so you know, interview. Here, like this. So just so you know, our interviewing office is Islandia, but if you were offered a job, they would place you closer to quorum where you live. Okay, whatever it is they said they live. Okay, so that way they know. So, like, for example, someone who's like lives in Manorville is not like I'm gonna have to drive out to Islandia every single day. All right, so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so hey, just so you know, our interview office is here, but if you were offered a job, we could place you more out east, out by Manorville. Oh, cool. Where are all the locations? Actually, I'm just the receptionist. I don't know all the locations, so you have to talk to the manager about that. But I do know you wouldn't have to drive out here every day. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So do you have a pen and paper handy? Yes. Okay. Let me give you some directions. Always give them directions, even if they say, "Oh, I'll just put it in my GPS or whatever." You always give them directions. Okay.
I yelled at our receptionist for this because she gave me the directions when I came. She gave me the wrong.
Doesn't matter. Don't give them the wrong direction. Just read it. That means she wasn't reading. Okay, if you read this, the directions, and by the way, and this is something that you tell receptionists. You tell receptionists like that. Okay, like if I know. Because here's the thing, like that's what you're saying, but who knows what she actually said? Okay, so point being is that's what you want to tell your receptionist. You want to tell your receptionist you have to read this exactly the way it's on here every single time. There is no deviation. There is no difference. The only deviation you can have is when you're doing some report stuff. How'd you like that job? Or how do you like school? That's your time to do report. Everything else you have to read here because what everything has to be consistent, okay? So what they see on the flyer and the poster is the same thing that you say in the thing. It's the same thing we say in the interview, okay? The key thing I'll say to receptionists is I'll say base pay. Like the pay, right? So on the flyer it says base appointment, okay? And then if the receptionist says per hour, and then in my interview we go base appointment again, right? Even though they're just like they're already looking for some kind of scam or something wrong. So even though there's nothing really wrong with that, they're like, well, wait a second, the receptionist didn't tell me that, and now it's different, and they're always looking for, well, what's the catch, okay? So anything that's inconsistent, and you tell us to receptionist, you go, anything that's inconsistent anywhere through, that's why I need you to read this exactly because I know what you said. So if somebody and by the way, the way I phrase it to a receptionist is I go, if somebody comes in and says they got the wrong directions, I want to be able to look in the face and say, you were freaking lying, because my receptionist reads exactly what's on that paper every single time.
Our receptionists that are off, what they do is they go on Google Maps, and when they hear it, they
Don't do that, okay? So yes, you don't have receptionists yet, all right? So you just, and that's what you tell them, and you go, that's why I want to be able to back you up. Now, by the way, I would never tell an applicant who said I got bad, if they go, oh, I got bad directions, the receptionist gave me bad directions, I just, in my head, I say, you're lying, okay? But yeah, I go, yeah, well, sometimes you get directions, let me help you out, not a big deal, all right? Sometimes I say to them, it's not her fault to get you here, it's your job to get here. But to her, that's her job. All right, so directions, by the way, is the number one reason why people don't show up to an interview, because it looks like the directions are going to be too hard. But anyway, so you have them read the directions, okay? Do you coming from east or west, you read the directions, all right? So you have the phone number, correct? If not, then you give it to them. Feel free to give us a call if you need any help, okay? Don't say give us a call if you get lost, because then that implies that they might get lost, all right? So if you need any help, give us a call. So a couple of things for your interview. When you come in, make sure to dress professionally. Don't come in jeans or sneakers. You want to make an impression. Bring a notebook and something to write with so you can take notes for yourself, all right? Don't, that's very important. I tell them everything's very important. Be here at least 10 to 15 minutes early, so you're ahead of traffic and you have time to fill out an application. And lastly, your interview could take up to 90 minutes. So if someone is coming with you, please let them know that your interview could take that long. It might be shorter, but leave yourself the extra time, okay? I will let the manager know you're all set, and we will see you at 5:45 tomorrow when the interview's at 6. Make sense? So you just grab this thing, you read it, you type in. Okay, I forgot to start typing in. And that's how it goes, all right? So